might go this side then.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's a shallower part as well, isn't it?
Shallowest part's down there.
Oh, is it?
The weed's coming up now though. Starting to see it now. He's not going to have a walk down that way and see if anyone's down there. Some might have, they won't be parked up the river because the river's closed, isn't it?
Join me on this Easter weekend bank holiday. It's actually Easter today, Easter Sunday, and what better way to start it on the bank with an Easter egg, especially provided by my mum. I don't live at home, but my mum bought me an Easter egg. Nice one, isn't it? 44 years old, and my mum's still buying me a little Easter egg, bless her. I did just bring the one. I ate the one the wife gave me last night because I just didn't want to cart a load of chocolate out onto the bank. Anyway, I'm down at my syndicate. I'm doing a 24-hour session with my lad Dylan. We've started a campaign on one lake. We're going to try and do the year on it. The plan is to do the year on here. We've done 5 sessions so far. I did a couple of last year. I had a £20 coming off the first session, lost a mid-20 the second session when I had Dylan with me. And then we've come back on. We started, I think, the end of December. We did a session and a session in January just to get a feel for the place again. And we've done 3 other sessions. So I think this is the 4th session since the first 2. So yeah, 6 sessions altogether. And we haven't had anything yet. We haven't had anything in that time. So it's just a matter of trying to work this lake out. We've decided to fish here. The fish in here exceed our PBs, so that's one reason why we picked it. There's a good head of fish in here. Some nice 20s, and they do go up to £30. So obviously this is why we picked this venue to spend on here for the year. There hasn't been many fish been coming off here. I think from the lads I know off here, I've got to know, I think they've had about 3 or 4 fish between them since December. So it's not fishing well. There was this morning when we got here, there was 5 vehicles in the car park. I can see just one bivvy up the other side. When we went and had a walk this morning when we got here, there were 5 bivvies the other side, so I thought, you know, there's a lot of pressure over there. Don't think these fish like being pressured in here. From what I've picked up on the sessions we've done on here so far, they tend to shy away. So we're only allowed to fish 2 rods. So I've got 2 rods out. I've got one out in front of me. It's 7.5 wraps. That one's on a little stiff hinge rig with a white meaty garlic pop-up, and then I've got one out to my left, and that's on that's got another pop-up on it, Shropshire Gold pop-up, but that one I've topped with some maggots, little jester rig, so because there is some naturals in here, there's a lot of bloodworm in here as well, so it's just a case of trying to find out what takes their fancy, and you know, it's all part working the lake out. We've had a good walk of the lake this morning when we got here, and we spotted fish moving about this side, and it is pretty shallow over here as well. The deepest part of the lake I think is about 7 or 8 foot, so it is pretty shallow lake. The margins are about 5 foot, so we saw fish moving about over here. We saw the pressure over there and we thought, you know, obviously they're sitting back off that pressure, so that's what we decided to come this end of the lake. Dylan's just 2 pegs down from me, and he's sat watching the water like I'm going to be in the minute when I stop the camera rolling. And anyway guys, I'm going to crack on, eat me Easter egg with a nice brew. Could do with a nice cold lager today with how hot it is here. It's an absolutely stunning day. I think it's 22 degrees, and the water, when I checked the temperature, was 16 degrees, so it's hot. So I'll catch up with you in a bit and give you a little view of the, you know, what's going on and stuff, and hopefully we might even have a fish or two. It is open anyway. I'll catch you in a bit, guys. Yorkie time. We've got brew as well, nice little brew. I'm gonna go and have myself that, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in a bit. I'll give you a little bit of a view of the lake. Got to be careful what I'm doing, because obviously we're not allowed to publicise, you know, obviously the waters and stuff, not for self-gain anyway, which I've never been about that. Obviously I'll give you a little view of the lake, not as much as I could, that I'd want to, but I'll give you a little, you know, view of the rods and little bits, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. I'm just going to have my Easter egg and my brew, and then I'll catch up with you. Well, that's the egg smashed. 2 chocolate bars in that one. There, this is my little maggot rig. It's a 360 rig. With a little bit of foam. I've just changed it because it did have yellow on there, and with it being bright, I'm just thinking that the reflection off that yellow is just, you know, it's a big danger sign to the fish. So I've swapped to black now. As you can see, I've got a tiny little micro ring swivel, not wing swivel, ring swivel there, with a little bit of foam on, and I've got my baiting floss coming through. I'm just going to thread some maggots on there now. Get these little beasts out. They're a little bit sweaty at the moment, which isn't good. So let's see what we can do with them. Literally all we're doing is just taking the needle through the lip. I hope nobody from Greenpeace is watching. You know what these guys are like. We're down the lake causing a riot. to see me doing this. Don't worry, they're used to it. And I'm going to stick about 8 to 10 maggots on here. 3. Choosing the best wrigglers, as you do. Try not to look at the camera too much because I don't want to stick a needle through my finger. Mrs. won't be too pleased when she realises I've took a best sewing needle. Right, let's have a look. Now, obviously when I put these on, what I'll do next is I'll just test it in my water bucket down here, just to see how it sits. So I want it to sink nice and slow. I want to see how it sits when it gets onto the bottom. So I ain't just going to take for granted that it's got... Did you see that then? Like open heart surgery. Maggot juice all down my leg. So I'm just going to drop that in there and have a look at that. Take that. Where's that? There. Just going to take that needle off. Because at the minute it's just the extra weight of the needle is making it. I'm not pulling the right bit. There we go. Just take that needle off a minute. Just see how that goes down. I might need to put a couple more maggots on. It's a little bit too much there. So just all I'm basically doing is just popping these up off the bottom, because there is a lot of leaf debris out there. Yeah, that's perfect. Just how I want it. So literally the hook sat flat on the deck, and the maggots are just sitting off the hook on that piece of foam. So what I'll do now, I'll just tackle box. I'll just tie those off. Like I say, just before I brought this in, I put a couple of two or three spots of maggots in, just to see if we can get them and fish in there again. So a couple of little overland loops just to hold them in place. Nothing fancy. There's no fancy way of doing this. It's quite gory, putting the maggots on and stuff for those that, you know, don't like the little wrigglers. But, there is a lot of naturals in this lake, especially bloodworm. So it's always good just to try that something different. Obviously, I've always gone all out boilie approach on here. But today I'm trying something a little bit different. I haven't tied that off. I'm not just going to take for granted that that's still going to sit the same. So I'm just going to try it again. Yeah, and that's perfect. And they're wriggling lovely, lovely there. And all we're going to do now is just... what I'm going to do as well, because I'm noticing that this is just popping up a little bit, I'm just going to grab a little bit of putty. And just put a little blob of putty down the line, just to stop that sitting up. Just on the rig. Just so that braid sits nice when it's on the bottom. It's no good having the rig perfectly presented. If your rig's on the lead like that, you're thinking, yeah, that's perfect, it's out there. But when it's on the leg clip, if the rig's perfectly presented here and that rig's sat up like that, because it's floating up, that's just, you know, it's not fishing for me. No, that looks perfect now. And just another little blob of putty just that little bit further up, just to pin that rig down. Remember, it's only the hook end, the presentation end, that I want the fish to hone in on. The last thing I want to do is have my rig sat up in the air and they're thinking, oh yeah, that looks nice and presented, but For some reason that rig's kicking up there. That spells danger to me. So a couple of little blobs of putty just to pin it down, and that is perfect. I don't know whether you can see that from there. If you can just bring the camera over. I don't know whether you can see that. Can you see it?
Just push it into the middle of the bucket.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, so it's pinned to the deck, hooks flat on the floor, and then maggots are just popping up above it. Bit like a snowman rig really, but obviously a little bit of foam, some maggots. You know, a couple of wriggling about when they're moving about. Because I think it's better now I've changed the black foam. Like I say, I think the reflection that again I might just put them off, but that might just, it just looks natural. It's like it's meant to be there. So all we're going to do, I'm just going to sit this on top of the brolly for a minute, just to dry out. And while that's drying out, I'm just going to I was going to oh yeah, tie a bag of maggots up to go with it. It's a little PVA bag. And what I do, I don't just nick the hook on the obviously on the bag. I'll show you the little trick I do. I just think it makes it that little bit better the way I do it. A lot of people do it the way I'm going to show you how to do it. You've probably seen it 100 times before, but I just think it makes it look a lot more tidy and neater. The only problem I've got now is these maggots are sweating, so just give them a little shake, because I don't want them, obviously, there's a fish just moved out there, right in front of us. I don't want them piercing the PVA bag. A few maggots in there. Just a little tip for you. Never use a plunger when you're doing this. Just, you don't want them all squashed up in the bag. You will get the odd one that will come out here and there. So tie that little bag off. Scissors, just quickly snip them off, and all I'm going to do is get wherever I've put it, my baiting needle. There it is. Pop that through there, and I'm going to run away. It's the only thing you got. They will, for some reason, they're tiny little holes, but they're managing to find their way out. So all we're going to do now is we're just going to. Oh, I can't do it because I've put the putty on, so I'm going to have to hook it. Usually I'd feed it down the rig. Usually I'd just feed it down the rig and pop it through. A hair in the end, a loop for the hair. I make it nice and small because this is just for the bait stop, and because it's nice and small I like to just get my gate latch needle in there to just tease it through like so. It's a nice small loop. I will, just to make sure, get my Fox multi-tool, pop it in the little like spike that's in it. Again, little spike, and then boom. So yeah, there's now, I don't know whether you can see that, but there's now a little loop in the end for the hair. Trim the end of that, then the end of the braid. Okay. Just burnt the little bits off with that, and what I do is get my desired pop-up, which at the moment I'm using the Monkey Nuts pop-ups from the Sweet Shop range. Again, retro baits. Just get the one that I want. It's a nice sort of like washed out white looking pop-up. Yeah, a dumbbell. So it looks like a pellet, which is in the mix that I'm using. And it looks like a nice washed out pellet basically. It also looks the same colour as the ground bait that's in the mix. This venue has only carp in it, so pellets and ground bait, well, pellets and ground bait hopefully will work. But yeah, anyway, so I get this pop-up and I then get a small disc of foam. I normally use yellow, but I'm going to use red here instead. So I'll just cut a small disc of it. Pop that on the baiting needle. And a lot of people pop the dumbbell on through the actual middle part. I take it through the top and the bottom, so it's flat, so it sits like that. And I take it like this, pop it straight to the hair, and just pull it on like that. Next, I get my boilie stop and just pop that through the loop. I'm going to use a different one actually. I'm just going to use a small pink extender stop. To hold that in place. There we go. And then I'll just pull it up so the actual extender stop goes into the foam. Just won't push into the foam for some reason. There we go. So I've now got the extender stop and foam and the pop-up, extender stop foam and the pop-up right there. Right then, grab a hook. For this one, I'm going to use a size 8. I'm not too sure of the make of hooks, but it is a short shank wide gate deep point hook. So yeah, that's the hook I'm using. So I just thread that onto the line. Through the back of the eye. Just drop the bait. Yeah, as I was saying, just thread it on through the back, like so. I'm going to have the bait quite close to the hook this time, and I'll just simple knotless knot. I'll whip down the shank towards the barb about 12 times. I then whip back down the shank about 3 times. Back through the eye of the hook, like so. So you now have the whipping on it, the hook, and then the bait. So that's quite handy right there. And then I've already got one of these rigs inside a bag tied up, but I can't show you the rig because it's obviously inside a solid bag. So yeah, that's got a quick change swivel on it. I actually do put a loop in these for a quick change swivel. Sometimes, not all the time. On the other ones that I did, they're just straight on loops. So there's like an oval ring on the swivel, and I just tie it straight to that. There we go. Burn the little tag ends off, and then we have a nice little dinky rig ready. And what I'll do is I just take the loop and just open it up, because obviously there's no need for an anti-tangle sleeve. It's going into a PVA bag. It wouldn't fit properly. I'm using a Corda 3-ounce inline lead, and I just pull the swivel out just a little bit, because it does stick into the inline lead just a bit too far, and I just pull the quick lock swivel, well, the quick change swivel in, lock that into place, and pull it in to the inline swivel, and then I'll just show you. This is what it looks like once it's finished. This is one I did earlier. That's just got a flat square lead in there. These are the PVA bags that I'm using. They're just pellets, and I will show you how to tie one of those up. Afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the Fishing Focus TV channel. We are back. We're here
back on the lake for a whole year's campaign. I've just put some spots out in front of me, and I've put some bait up in the corner on one of my spots. So what I'll do is I'll show you what I'm fishing over the top of the spot and the bait in a little bit. This is just a little introduction while I did my spotting onto this new video series. We're here in spring. It's currently about 22 degrees. The water's about 15-16 degrees. It's quite a warm day, and we're only in spring. This weekend, Sunday, Easter Sunday, fishing until Monday, and then next weekend fishing a charity match on a local water. I really hope that I catch this session, but as I said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin the camera around, show you the lake, and then I'll get into what I fish, what rigs I fish. So as you can see, the spot right there is where I just put my spots out, and there's action over it already. And then I'm not too sure whether you can see this. I will try and show you this spot here, down where you've got like the sun beaming in on it, where the shadow is behind it. So just behind it, right there, is where I'm fishing my other rig. Oh yeah, haven't actually got the rigs in the water yet, because I had to go and get the phone charger for my dad out of the car, and the rule in on here is if you leave your peg you have to reel your rods in. So I've reeled my rods in, baited the swim up and let it rest. So I'm going to pause the video now, we'll get into the bivvy and I'll show you my rigs. See you in a minute on the actual video. We did blank. I'm currently on my way back to the car park after my dad's little, well, after our little outro. So yeah, I just thought I'd do this little video walking back to the car park. You know, while pushing my barrow along, so you guys could come along with the journey with us too. Should do this more often, really. Videos of me, well, of us walking with the barrows. But yeah, so yeah, another blank. But we will be back on the bank. I can assure you that, because we will be back next week anyway, because we've got a charity match to do. But yeah, we will be back. There's a bump, but yeah, we will be back, and we will hopefully have a carp in our nets the next time. Well, at least a fish anyway. You never know, it could be a bream. But I hope that we will see you next time with a fish. Bye bye. Our session is that time where we have to say goodbye to the bank. It's a big fat blank for both of us. We're a pair of blankers. Did spot a fish cruising around my swim last knockings, and it cruised over towards Dylan and then disappeared down. So I thought he was going to get a take, but nothing come of it. And then it started cruising again, didn't it? And Dylan, you decided to quickly type a surface rig and get the old controller float on, and didn't happen though, unfortunately. As soon as put it out on the surface, saw it moving about a bit, and then it just stopped. It just went dead, and there's nothing moving. So unfortunately, it's a big fat blank. It's been great being out on the bank again in this beautiful weather, but unfortunately, like I said, we're a pair of blankers, and all that's left to say is catch you soon, guys. Next time on the bank. Take care out there, tight lines, and good luck, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.